I'm Liyana Hassanel, and this is Nightline. The top stories. Peaceful Assembly Act to be amended. Organisers no longer need venue owners' permission. And price of local white rice remains at RM2.60 per kilogram, despite Party 4 price revision. Good morning. The government has agreed to amend Anwar told the Dewan Rakyat on Thursday that the amendment to the Act aims to facilitate the organisation of peaceful assemblies. However, laws regarding weapons or the presence of minors at such gatherings will still be enforced.
Seksyen 11 Akta 736 hendak memperoleh persetujuan pemunya atau penghuni tempat perhimpunan yang menjadi pertikaian sekarang, dan ini akan dikeluarkan daripada peraturan yang ditetapkan. Yang kedua, yang diperlukan hanyalah untuk disebut dalam istilah undang-undangnya pemberitahuan ataupun pemakluman kepada polis 5 hari sebelum itu, supaya polis dapat menjaga keselamatan, kawalan dan juga lalu lintas.
Anwar also said that although the proposed amendment will be brought to Parliament in the upcoming session, a moratorium on the Act will take effect immediately.
Maknanya polis tidak akan menggunakan pakai undang-undang itu dan memberikan kelonggaran dengan maksud pemakluman atau pemberitahuan 5 hari sebelum itu. Ini berita baik daripada kerajaan Madani yang belum pernah dibuat oleh kerajaan terdahulu, termasuk kerajaan dulu.
In line with the announcement, Anwar stated that police investigations into the students involved in the Himpunan Rakyat Benci Rasuah rally on January 25th will be halted and no further action will be taken. Similarly, no action will be taken regarding the hunger strike and protests related to detainees held under the Security Offences Special Measures Act 2012, or SOSMA, that recently took place outside Sungai Buloh prison. However, the Prime Minister stressed that the country needs strict laws like SOSMA to address criminal threats, particularly those involving violence. Meanwhile, Anwar reiterated that he will provide an explanation on the issue regarding the royal addendum involving former Prime Minister Datuk Seri Najib Razak in the Dewan Rakyat once the latter's court case concludes.
Selesai ke mahkamah saya jawab. Saya nak tengok Ketua Mahkamah hadir atau tidak. Yes. Apa nak lagi pada mana? Ya. Kamu boleh jeritlah banyak mana pun. Saya tahu fakta dia. Ya. Tapi nak suruh singgung kedudukan raja, saya tak boleh. Ya. Dan saya dalam hal ini boleh cek. Saya memang hubungi raja-raja.
Previously, the government stated that the decision not to discuss the royal addendum was in line with the principle of separation of powers. Minister in the Prime Minister's Department for Law and Institutional Reform, Datuk Seri Azalina Othman, also clarified that matters related to judicial review and pardons fall entirely under the jurisdiction of the courts and the respective state pardons boards. On January 6th, the Court of Appeal allowed Najib's judicial review application regarding the royal addendum, which would allow him to serve the remainder of his jail sentence under house arrest, and ruled that the case be heard in the High Court. Geostrategist Azmi Hassan joins us now to speak about the amendments to the Peaceful Assembly Act, including removing the requirement to obtain venue approval for peaceful assemblies. From the government's perspective, how does this move reflect Malaysia's evolution towards a more mature democracy?
Of country that call a democratic country allow their citizens to conduct peaceful assemblies to demonstrate, for example, whether in align to the government or not aligned to the government, because this peaceful assemblies is a basic tenet of human rights. So I guess Malaysia is moving the right way to make it easier for our citizens to conduct peaceful assemblies. And as I said before, whether this is contrary to what the government, the policy of the government or not, I think these peaceful assemblies, to make it easier, I think is the correct way to show that we are a democratic countries that allow voice of dissent, for example. So I think this is a good sign. Malaysia as a democratic nation.
Now, how do you think this move impacts Malaysia's position on the global stage?
Oh, well, the government is always in an awkward position because international media always accuse the government of constraining its own citizens for a peaceful demonstration, peaceful assemblies. But considering that we are a society of diverse cultures and religion, I think the government need to be careful about assemblies or protests in this case. But by amending this particular section to make it easier for the citizen to demonstrate, to express their views, I think this is good governance, one thing for sure, but this is in line with the needs of United Nations in terms of human rights of citizens of a certain nation, and also in line with Western nations that are very proud on their human rights, giving rights to each citizen for a peaceful demonstration. So in this case, we are in the right direction to be on par, especially with the Western nation, and to be in parallel with the needs of the United Nations in terms of human rights to express, the citizen to express their views.
And for the amendments to be on par with international standards, electoral reform group Bersih would like to see the government engaging stakeholders, including civil society, academics, and rights groups. Now let's take a listen to its chairman, Muhammad Faisal Abdul Aziz, who welcomed the amendments.
Bersih welcomes the announcement made by Prime Minister Dato' Sri Anwar in Parliament, stating the commitment by the government to amend the Peaceful Assembly Act, among others, to ensure that the right of assembly for the people as enshrined in the Federal Constitution is granted. For Bersih, it is a commendable effort by the Madani government and needs to be supported, given such an amendment had long been anticipated by the people, especially the activists and NGO leaders, for decades. Nevertheless, we Bersih urge the government to conduct a comprehensive engagement with all stakeholders before the amendment takes place, to ensure that the amendment will meet the expectations of the people and it is in line with the principle of democracy and fundamental liberties.
The government has announced that the floor purchase price of padi will be revised from 1,300 ringgit to 1,500 ringgit per metric ton, effective this Sunday. Prime Minister Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim stated that to ensure rice prices remain stable, a subsidy of 150 million ringgit will be provided to rice millers over the next 6 months. Additionally, an extra allocation of 30 million ringgit from Padi Beras Nasional Berhad, Bernas, has been secured to support impoverished farmers. According to Anwar, the 150 million ringgit subsidy allocated to rice millers is aimed at ensuring the maximum retail price of local white rice remains at 2 ringgit 60 cent per kilogram. This is the second revision implemented by the Madani government within 2 years to boost the income of paddy farmers. The first adjustment was implemented in 2023 after the paddy purchase floor price had remained unchanged at 1,200 ringgit for almost a decade. Anwar stressed that supporting farmers has been a key priority since he took office as Prime Minister. He also expressed his appreciation to Bernas for working alongside the government to safeguard the welfare of paddy farmers. In fact, he personally contacted Bernas chairman, Tan Sri Said Mokhtar Al-Bukhari, who agreed to provide an additional 30 million ringgit allocation to support the government's efforts to aid paddy farmers. The allocation will be directly channeled to poor farmers in the near future. Media Prima Audio MPA is redefining radio broadcasting with its revamped studios, equipped with distinctive features and cutting-edge technology. The upgraded studios now house all 5 MPA radio stations, namely Hot FM, Cool 101, Mola FM, Fly FM, and 8 FM, which are now operating from Balai Berita, Bangsar. MPA Chief Executive Officer Nazri Noran highlighted that the introduction of DJ Aina Sabrina, an artificial intelligence AI radio presenter on Fly FM, marks a significant milestone for the company, positioning MPA at the forefront of the radio broadcasting industry by embracing state-of-the-art technology. He was met at the launch of MPA's new radio studios, held on Thursday at Balai Berita, in conjunction with World Radio Day. At the event, a Memorandum of Understanding signing ceremony was also held between MPA and its collaboration partners EV Sun and Metaspace. Two senior officials of a sports association in Johor have been remanded for allegedly misappropriating 1.3 million ringgit and submitting false claims amounting to 27,000 ringgit. The Johor Bahru Magistrates Court issued a 5-day remand order against the duo starting Thursday to assist the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, MACC, in its investigation into the case. According to a source, the suspects in their 60s were detained at 4 p.m. on Wednesday when they arrived at the state MACC office to give their statements. The first suspect, who is the association's president, is believed to have misused funds since 2 years ago. He allegedly abused his position by instructing the association's honorary secretary to transfer part of the 1.3 million ringgit in contributions received from the Youth and Sports Ministry and private entities for the association's activities into bank accounts belonging to him and his child. The second suspect, a former honorary secretary, is believed to have submitted false claims between 2023 and 2024 for training payments amounting to 15,000 ringgit. And sports equipment subsidies worth 12,000 ringgit to the State Sports Council, despite the programs never taking place. In Malacca, a 5-month pregnant woman and her 4 children perished after their home in Kampung Brangan Enam, Jasin, was engulfed in flames early Thursday morning. The incident, which occurred at 1:30 a.m., also left the victim's husband injured. Jasin Police Chief Superintendent Muhammad Rusli Mat stated that the house was occupied by a family of 6. The deceased have been identified as 37-year-old Laila Fatina Mustafa, her 13-year-old daughter from a previous marriage, Nurdamia Batrisha Abdullah, her 6-year-old daughter Nurdalila Khadija, and her 2 sons, Isdafa Hafizuddin and Is Danish Fati, aged 7 and 4. Laila's husband, who survived the fire, has been identified as 35-year-old Muhammad Khairuddin Saari. All the bodies have been sent to Jasin Hospital for post-mortem. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. In a bid to make Malaysia an attractive and competitive investment destination, the Prime Minister told the Dewan Rakyat that the government is continuing to identify new strategies. Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim, who is also the Finance Minister, said one of the initiatives that has attracted investors is the Johor-Singapore Special Economic Zone, JSZ, which has received very positive feedback not only from Singapore, but also from other countries. Anwar was responding to a question about the government's efforts and incentives in positioning Malaysia as an attractive and competitive investment destination.
Kemudian perancangan kita dengan Thailand supaya pastikan negeri-negeri utara Semenanjung, Perlis, Kedah, Kelantan, Terengganu bersama dengan 4 wilayah selatan Thailand itu dibangunkan. Kita ada 2 mesyuarat dalam 18 hari bulan ini. Saya ada 1 lagi pertemuan untuk merangka supaya pertumbuhan itu juga berlaku.
The Prime Minister said the incentive with Thailand is certainly different from JSZ. Apart from that, focus will also be on making Sarawak the energy hub for ASEAN. He also said that Malaysia is taking steps to promote Forest City as a financial center and to develop it as, for example, a single-family office scheme. Malaysia is committed to strengthening cooperation with major rubber-producing countries, particularly Indonesia and Thailand. Plantation and Commodities Minister Datuk Sri Johari Abdul Ghani stated that this is crucial towards ensuring the stability of rubber prices. Johari explained that natural rubber prices are largely determined by global supply and demand. This means that the government does not control the pricing of the commodity. He added that Malaysia also participates in several regional initiatives to ensure stable rubber prices for smallholders and producers. This includes cooperation through the International Tripartite Rubber Council, ITRC, which was established in 2002. Additionally, Malaysia is involved in a collaborative platform comprising 13 rubber-producing countries to address emerging issues in the rubber industry. On Friday, the central bank is set to announce the 2024 economic growth figures, with the expectation of the gross domestic product, GDP, in a positive territory, in line with advanced estimates and within the Finance Ministry's official target of between 4.8 and 5.3% year-on-year. According to economist Geoffrey Williams, Bank Negara's statistics will reflect strong investment inflows and business confidence.
I think that we can be reasonably confident that growth in the fourth quarter will be quite strong, perhaps between 4.6% 4.8%, and that growth for 2024 as a whole will also be quite strong, perhaps between 4.8% and 5%. This will end quite a good year, and the main reasons are that investments have been very strong. Foreign direct investment has also been very strong. There has been a push from private consumption with 13 billion ringgit of withdrawals from the EPF, for example. And although net trade, the balance of trade, has been rather weak for most of the year, it has picked up at the end of the year. And overall trade has been growing throughout the year. So all of these things together look toward a really quite strong performance for 2024. Now,
Digital payment transformation in Malaysia. How are e-wallets and digital banking impacting the financial sector? What challenges and opportunities are emerging as Malaysia advances towards a cashless society? Zahir Kelvin Ong Abdullah speaks with the President of Fintech Association of Malaysia, Wilson Bear, only on Money Matters this Saturday at 5 p.m. on TV3 and stream on Tonton.
Malaysia crash out of group stage. Actions from the Asia Championships when we come back.
Kalau semua ejen dah pakai Iris, Mata perlukan saya lagi ke?
Kenapa semangat sangat nak kejar aku sampai sini?
Semua rimau aku serang, aku masih boleh tendang. Kalau nampak jangan cengang, kalau kacau benang kami nanti dengar gendang perang. Lepas lawan yang di sini, lawan yang sebelah. Kita jaga kita.
unlocking the future of business.
From industry evolutions to policy changes, we go beyond the headlines.
Deep insights, sharp analysis.
Understanding the forces driving tomorrow's economy.
Key financial insights that drive decisions.
This is Money Matters, every Saturday, 5 p.m.
Only on TV3 and stream now on Tonton.
Sports badminton, the 2025 Asia Mixed Team Championship. The national team failed to reach the quarterfinals for the first time after suffering a 2-3 defeat to arch rivals Indonesia in Qingdao, China on Thursday. In the first match, husband-wife mixed doubles pair Goh Sun Huat, Siobhan Lai lost to the up-and-coming pair, the Jan Ferdinand Shah, Siti Fadia Ramadanti, 21-17, 13-21, 18-21 in a 64-minute battle. Women's singles shuttler Kaylat Shana was under immense pressure to win the second match, but she lost to Komang Ayu Chahya Dewi in straight games 12-21, 19-21, allowing Indonesia to take a 2-0 lead. Men's singles player Leong Junhao then shone with a scintillating display to keep the country's hopes alive by defeating Johannes Marcelino 11-21, 22-20, 21-12. However, women's doubles pair Goh Pei Ki Teo Mei Zing fell to Rachel Alessia Melissa Trias Puspitasari 21-18, 7-21, 17-21 in the fourth match, giving Indonesia an unassailable 3-1 lead. Men's doubles world number 12 Man Wei Chong T.K. Woon then battled hard to secure a 25-27, 21-17, 23-21 win over world number 16 Shohibul Fikri Daniel Martin in 65 minutes to make it a more respectable result for Malaysia. Malaysia's exit allowed Hong Kong to join group winners Indonesia in the last 8 from Group B. Football now, the Argentine Primera Division. Independiente returned to winning ways on Wednesday after beating Vélez Sarsfield 3-0 at home. Gabriel Avalos put the hosts ahead on the half-hour mark by firing a close-range shot into the net. The Paraguayan then doubled their lead by scoring his second with a powerful header just before the halftime whistle. Julio Vaccari's men maintained their dominance as Luciano Cabral fired the ball into the top corner in the 76th minute, sealing the comfortable 3-0 victory and effectively ending the contest. The win leaves Independiente on top of the Group B table with 12 points, while Vélez remains second from the bottom. Moving on to tennis, the 2025 Argentina Open. Competing for the first time since reaching the Australian Open final, Alexander Zverev returned in style at the ATP 250 tournament in Buenos Aires on Wednesday. The top seed took 1 hour and 38 minutes to down Serbian Dusan Lajovic 6-4, 6-4 in the second round. The German did it on the back of 6 aces and 3 breakpoint conversions, averaging an impressive 65% on the second serve return. Up next for the world number 2 is 5th seed Francisco Cerundolo. Earlier, Cerundolo reached the last 8 by beating qualifier and younger brother Juan Manuel Cerundolo. The world number 28 clinched the 6-2, 6-3 victory by securing 3 breaks and saving 4 break points in a 1 hour and 17-minute battle. Five killed in gas explosion. The details when Nightline returns.
Sepuluh lagu membawa rasa dalam nada. Sedakah Anda untuk rasanya?
Rasa sedih ke? Macam awak, lagu tak tercalon AJL.
Ini rasa nak marah. Tapi untuk jadi juara, nada kena terangkat rasa. kasi penonton terus demam.
Alamak, tapi kalau nak demam, biarlah demam. AJL 39, nada rasa.
Aduh.
Unlocking the future of business.
From industry evolutions to policy changes, we go beyond the headlines.
Deep insights, sharp analysis.
Understanding the forces driving tomorrow's economy.
Key financial insights that drive decisions.
This is Money Matters, every Saturday, 5 p.m.
Only on TV3 and stream now on Tonton.
Wanita hari ini.
Selamat tinggal Sri Pentas dari Balai Berita Bangsa.
Kami bawakan dimensi baharu wanita hari ini.
Zaman sekolah dulu suka masuk talian.
Antara momen yang tak dapat dilupakan.
Sayang atau buang, semua nak simpan.
Masalah suka kumpul barang ni, adakah ini berkaitan dengan masalah mental?
Serangan jantung jangan dibawa main.
Pemantauan dan rawatan perlu untuk mencegahnya.
Soal jodoh, tiada siapa yang tahu.
Rezeki jodoh yang tak disangka-sangka.
Semuanya di WHI TV3
dan stream ditonton.
Wanita hari ini.
On to the foreign front. U.S. President Donald Trump announced that he would impose reciprocal tariffs on trading partners on Thursday, opening new fronts in his trade war. The move would match the United States tariff rates on imports to the levels that other countries impose on U.S. goods. The president, however, did not share any further details about his latest tariff plan, which could take aim at every country that charges duties on U.S. imports. Meanwhile, economists warn that his broad-ranging tariffs on U.S. imports would likely boost inflation, not reduce it. Analysts have also warned that reciprocal duties could bring a broad tariff hike to emerging market economies, such as India and Thailand, which tend to have higher effective tariff rates on U.S. goods. A gas explosion at a department store in Taiwan on Thursday has killed at least 5 people and injured 26 others. The blast occurred at the food court on the 12th floor of a department store in Taichung City. Dozens of firefighters were deployed to the scene at about 11:30 a.m. local time. The higher floors of the upscale department store were blown out, raining debris on pedestrians below. According to officials, part of the store was under renovation, but it is not clear if the work was linked to the explosion. They added that the Fire Bureau would focus on a rescue operation first, but an investigation was also underway, and officers were checking whether there were other sources of danger. Thailand's Interior Ministry has issued a 1-year ban on the issuance of firearm carry permits, effective from Friday, in an effort to reduce gun-related violence. The order was co-signed by Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra and Interior Minister Anutin Charnvirakul. According to an Interior Ministry spokeswoman, the ban was introduced because Thailand had been experiencing an increase in gun-related incidents, including the public display of firearms and their exhibition on various social media platforms. These incidents have caused public fear and, in several cases, have resulted in injuries to and the deaths of innocent people. And that concludes Nightline this time around. Before we leave, let's take a look as more than 120 teams from across the country battled it out in the 35th annual Koide International Snowball Fight in Uonuma in Niigata Prefecture. With that, I'm Liyana Hassanel. Thank you for watching and stay safe, Malaysia.